Well, some kind of sort of breaking news today. Saudi OPEC increasing oil production. My thought is, why don't we just do it ourselves? I guess that's way too easy. Joining me now to talk about it is our great friend, Senator John Barrasso, Republican Conference Chairman and ranking member of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, coming back from Ukraine. You know, so the Saudis are putting 200,000 more barrels, Saudi OPEC, 200,000 more barrels. It's nothing. Well, prices went up today. I'm sure you know this, but they went up $2 anyway, and they're running around just south of $120. So that and all these machinations about strategic petroleum reserve robbery, none of that's work. I mean, it ain't going to work until we start producing again. Senator, we are still about 1.5 million barrels a day short of where we were producing pre-pandemic. Still, today, with record high gasoline prices. How is that possible, sir?
Well, the president has said early on he wants to actually get rid of eliminating all fossil fuels in this country. That's been the position of this administration. And now, Larry, it seems they want to spend the next month traveling the country, he and his members of the cabinet, saying, hey, things are actually a lot better than you think they are. Well, people have paid the price all Memorial Day weekend. We're at all-time high prices. And the question is, who are they going to believe? Joe Biden talking at them or their own two eyes in their empty wallets? Yeah. 3/4 of the American people believe the country is heading in the wrong direction. And you saw I had the Secretary of Interior, the Energy Committee. She would not admit that oil prices and gas prices were too high. You have the Secretary of Energy and the Secretary of Transportation say, hey, if you don't like the cost of gas, go buy an electric car. Look, people can't afford to buy gas or groceries, let alone an electric car. The American people have given up on this president because they know he is not competent to run the nation.
And he keeps making the same mistakes. Nothing changes. The inflation piece in the Wall Street Journal, there was no change in policy. I mean, the forgiveness tour, as I call it, Janet Yellen and all these people going around saying, you know, forgive me that we missed inflation for a year and a half. They didn't acknowledge their role in the inflation problem, you know, the root causes of overspending, overregulating, and over money printing. I just want to read real quickly Joe Manchin, Senator Manchin's statement on OPEC today. And I'll quote directly, I firmly believe the United States should never have to depend on other nations to provide the energy we can produce ourselves. Now, that's pretty pithy from the West Virginian. I just wondered, you know, he's a Democrat. Gee whiz, gosh. What's wrong with that? Why wouldn't President Biden go with that? We know it to be true. We have so many untapped resources. Why be so stubborn? Consumers and businesses are paying the piper for the stubbornness of this anti-carbon, anti-fossil fuel administration, Senator. I don't get it.
And instead of doing what you just described, President Biden looks like he's going to go hat in hand to Saudi Arabia, asking for them to produce even more energy on our behalf. Look, he has made a mess. The president has made a mess of foreign policy, energy policy. People have seen this all across the world, actually. And if he were going to go to Saudi Arabia, as it sounds like he wants to do, he should go in a position of strength. And the way you go in a position of strength is you say, we're going to do the oil and gas leases, we're going to give the permits to drill, and we're going to allow the infrastructure to get built so that we are, once again, as we were in this country when you left the White House, energy dominant. But that's not what this guy's going to do, because he is so beholden to the radical, extreme climate elitists who are all around that White House and are staffing that White House. Look, the president's press secretary yesterday said the president there's a lot of crises around him. Well, Larry, these are ones the president has brought upon himself.
Senator, actually, Janet Yellen, distinguished economist and degrees, and she's married to a Nobel Prize winner, Janet Yellen said pipelines don't matter. You understand, John? Pipelines don't produce energy, so they don't matter. She actually said that. Now, that was also said a few months ago by the former press secretary, Madam Psaki. Pipelines don't matter, sir. So how do you, you got to help me here. You're very experienced in this. I'm just a city boy. I'm just saying, if you frack and drill and produce the stuff, and you want to get it to a refiner and ultimately to a gas station, don't you have to transport it? And aren't pipelines safer than, let's say, trucks? You tell me. Pipelines don't matter. That's what she said. Yellen said this.
Pipelines matter a lot. The president, of course, day one in office, killed the Keystone XL pipeline, which would have brought 800,000 barrels of oil a day to the United States. You need pipelines to transport liquefied natural gas to terminals where they can then ship that to sell to our friends overseas who are engaged in this ongoing struggle with Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Pipelines are needed all across the country, and you're right, much safer than tankers or trucks or trains, more energy efficient as well. But these guys don't do the math. They don't see the big picture. All they do is want to worship at the altar of the climate elitists, and they have this smug superiority that if just the rest of us were as smart as they were, we would see the errors in our ways of wanting to have affordable energy so that we could drive the kids to school, go have the grandparents come to visit, and all the things that happen in day-to-day life in America.
I tell you, Senator, I've known you a good long while. The pipelines don't matter. I may have to process that for a long time. And this is from a highly educated woman who was also former Fed chair and now running the Treasury Department. Pipelines don't matter. It's quite remarkable. Senator Barrasso, we thank you for your time, sir. Glad you're home safe from the Ukraine.
Thank you. We have that Secretary of Treasury in front of the Finance Committee on Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to boring in with some of these important questions about the future of our economy and our nation.
I'm happy to write some bullets for you if you want. No, I'm just a simple guy. Pipelines don't matter. It boggles my mind. Senator John Barrasso, thank you, sir.